In this video, a case is going to move up a level because there is work that starts out as routine and halfway through stops being routine. Someone looks at it, moves it forward, and reaches a point where the decision is no longer theirs to make. It's not that they handled it poorly, it's that the case has grown, and at that point, there are two possible outcomes. Either it stays stuck on the desk of someone who can't resolve it, which is what happens in most places, or it moves up to someone who can, building on what has already been done instead of starting from scratch. The second option is escalation, and it's the right call. It's important to clarify one thing, because this is where everyone gets confused. What moves up a level in the case is not a person. No one is promoted or demoted when a ticket changes tiers. What changes is how much expertise is required to resolve that specific case, and that's why it gets escalated. And one more thing that's often overlooked: escalating isn't just about moving the case, it's about clearly stating why it's being escalated. Whoever receives it wasn't part of the previous stage. Take the law firm's first review, for example. At the firm, the first review of a contract is handled by the paralegals. When one comes in with a clause that requires negotiation, that's no longer a first review. That decision falls to an attorney, and that's exactly what's happening with the non-disclosure agreement we currently have open. So let's create a second escalation tier and move it up. We enter the service and add a level, just as we did with the first one. In the tier field, we select Level 2. This is what truly makes the difference. It's not just a nice-sounding name. It defines the position of the escalation step. Next, we add the name and a description, which in this case would be the review of the flagged clauses along with the negotiation stance and the signing recommendation. As the person in charge, we assign Rafael Moretti, who leads the contract's legal team. We create its own board, because each escalation tier works on its own. The name is written automatically, CR, Attorney Review Board, using the same prefix as the service. The type and methodology remain as they are by default. Visibility is set to organization, the same as the first one. And the schedule in Central Time, which is where the office is located. We create the level, and then we move to the Team tab. We link the team that handles commercial contracts in this firm, which is the Commercial Contracts team. The two members who form this team enter, Rafael Moretti and Marco Lopez, with their names and emails, without assigning anyone yet. Both of them enter as agents. On Rafael's card, we open Edit Member. We set him as Lead. In that panel, you can now see the person responsible for this escalation tier. Marco remains as an agent. And with that, you now have two tiers. However, notice that there is still no connection between them. They are two levels of the same service, and neither one knows about the other. This is the part that could trip you up. Without it, the escalation button won't lead anywhere. We return to the first tier and enter its settings. This screen configures the entire tier and contains more options than we'll cover today. What we need is on the first screen, General, in a field called Escalate To. We open it, and there is the tier we just created. We select Attorney Review and save. What you have just done is more than simply filling in a field. The escalation ladder is declared from the point of origin. Each step defines where cases move up to when they exceed the current tier's capacity. It can only point to one tier. If tomorrow you need a third tier, you enter the second tier and repeat the same process. One thing worth clarifying before using this: escalation only flows in one direction. If the lawyer opens the case and sees it was simpler than it appeared, they resolve it themselves. There is no option to send it back down the chain. While we're here, take a look at the business hours. It's set to Monday through Friday, 9 hours to 5, by default, because the level is created with standard office hours. When you created it, you only selected the time zone. If yours is different, you can change it right here. Let's open the case on the first level board. It has been open for 1 day, and it shows in the deadlines. And it's not that no one has looked at it. The initial review has already been completed, and something came up that a paralegal cannot decide on their own. Until that decision is made, the case will not move forward, no matter how many hours you put into it. In the three-dot menu, you'll find the Escalate to Next Level option. Click on it, and at the top, the system confirms the destination. which is the escalation level you just declared. Below that, you'll see the only required field, the reason. This is not paperwork. It's what the attorney will read before touching the case. So write it specifically for them. Writing for review is not enough. It should state what has been done, where the problem lies, and what needs to be decided. We'll write that the first review is complete, that Clause 7 limits our liability in a way we cannot accept as is, that the client wants to sign this week, and that an attorney is needed to decide what to negotiate. Then we click on Escalate Ticket. The case is no longer on the paralegal's board. It's now on the attorney's board, sitting in the first column, waiting. Notice 3 things. It's the same case, not a copy. Everything it carries is still there. Its code, its description, and its contract type. It arrived without an assignee, and that is intentional. This is by design. At the upper tier, it isn't decided from the outside who picks it up. Whoever is available takes it, and that's where the team at this level does their work. The clock remains the same. It doesn't reset just because the case has been escalated. That's exactly how it should be. You promised the client a time, and whatever happens inside is your business, not theirs. That's what escalating properly means. The case moves up, the reason moves up with it, and the commitment to the person waiting stays intact.